Hey, little cutie. Hey, little cutie. It's okay. I can't really say he's getting big because he's still so small, but he has grown quite a lot. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Roots and Refuge. So, little Ozzy here. He is a handful of weeks old now. Getting close to a month, actually. I actually have decided to leave him intact. He's our newest calf, and he is half Jersey, half Dexter. And we have been planning on, sadly, and this does make me very sad, but it's just responsible management. We're gonna sell Bo, our bull that we've had, because we're keeping 2 of his daughters, and so it doesn't make sense to keep him. And we are going to raise up Ozzy and keep him for breeding because he's actually not related to any of the cows that we're going to be keeping. So it'll be nice to have him. I have done some research at this point, and I've had several people attest to the fact that those are supposed to be very even-tempered, a good even-tempered breed. Jerseys are crazy, so like you don't want to keep a Jersey bull. Hey, little girls. Hey there. Hey, Muffin. Hey, Chloe. Oh, hello there, Virgie. Here comes Bluey. And then there's Bingo. Hey, girlie. Hey, beautiful girl. Bingo and Bluey are only going to be here for a little bit longer before they go to their new home. But Chloe and Muffin are staying with me. I think they're such sweet girls, and I'm excited to keep them in my herd. Hey, cutie. Hey, cutie. See ya. We have had lots of rain lately. Our grass is kind of high everywhere. I'm gonna hop over here into the herb and tea garden, show it to you guys. So lush. So I took my green stalk apart, I don't know, been probably about a month ago, once the heat had kind of wrapped everything up in there. But I just left it apart so that it could get rained on. And I'm going to replant this here soon. I was waiting for the weather to break because I wanted to plant like some kales and some salad greens. I'd like to have some salad right here close to the front of the house to be able to pop out and get. Look at this. So lush, so beautiful. I've tried really hard to keep this basil from going to seed, but it requires just so much intention when it's hot outside to make sure I come out and prune it almost daily, because if I let a few days go by, this happens. I would like to be able to keep this basil going until the frost comes, because having fresh basil is great, but it's hard to keep it from bolting when it's hot. Look at this. Lush butterfly peas. Aren't those glorious? This is one of the few like truly blue flowers. Blue, I believe, is the least common naturally occurring color in vegetation. Look at that. Those are little holy basil seedlings all coming up from seeds blowing over. The swallowtail butterflies finally came and took over what was left of this fennel. You can see all the caterpillars they laid their eggs on. I feel like the butterflies were late this year. Did anybody else notice that? Normally I see swallowtails a little earlier. I see the caterpillars a little earlier than I did this year, but I'm always happy to let butterflies have what's left. I got to harvest a good bit of fennel this year and dill. It doesn't really thrive in the heat anyway, so the fact that they come and decimate it, it'll actually grow back next year. Where I am, it's perennial. Lemongrass is huge. That thing will keep getting big. I've already harvested a good deal off of it, and usually what I do is like right before the frost is going to come, I come cut it back a lot. And it really just depends on how cold our winter gets. That may grow back next year, it may not. And then this is pineapple sage, which this will not come back next year. I have to buy a new plant of this every year. But it's so lovely. It smells so good. And then there are some things here, like I've got oregano here on the end. This basil will get killed back. This is lemon basil by the freeze. And then that oregano will kind of take over. Like right here, I've got a sage plant that will stay. This is actually my first time growing tarragon, so I'm not 100% sure. I would assume that this is perennial over winter. Maybe it dies back and comes back, but I'm not sure. Maybe you guys can tell me. The chives will be here forever until the end of time. The butterfly peas, I mean, I'll try to harvest them a lot, but I always miss some. So typically there are seeds left at the end and they drop back. This will reseed. As long as I allow some of the seeds to fall, and that inevitably happens, it'll keep coming back, which is great. I love that. Rosemary will stay, thyme will stay. Overall, this garden, I would say about half of what's in here is perennial, and then the other half will have to be replanted. This is lavender. That will stay. A couple of them didn't make it through the heat of the summer, but most of them got good and established. And then this is echinacea, coneflower. This will be perennial. I may have to thin this out some, actually, because they got pretty big. This is like a smaller variety, but I knew when I put these in here that they were a little too close together, but I went ahead and did it anyway, just because I didn't have another place to put them. But I may thin some of these out. I'm going to, like I said, plant some cool weather stuff in the green stalk lettuces, things that'll be nice to have so close to the front door, and put my green stalk back together. Coming to the end of August in South Carolina, we're through most of our heat, but it's still liable to like get pretty dang hot through September, but I think that it'll probably be fine if I go ahead and sow some cool weather stuff in here. The thing with, like, if you're gonna have any consistent temperatures that are over 85 degrees Fahrenheit, like 26.7 Celsius, somewhere in there, you have the risk that if you're growing like a cool weather thing, it's going to go straight to seed. But they can kind of handle it, especially if it's been on the warmer side, and especially if the nights are getting cooler. They won't necessarily go right there. The problem is when you're going to have like a few weeks that the temperatures are exceeding that, like, this stuff's going to be toast. And that's why I typically wait to put any sort of like lettuces or brassicas out until usually September-ish if I'm starting with plants. Now I may put seeds in the ground before then because they'll come up, but not a lot before then. You don't want to risk that. There is a very large bird circling over my farm. I do not like that. Okay, he's moving on. I actually think that is a turkey buzzard. Yeah, it is a turkey buzzard. I don't know what he's circling for. There's nothing dead here. Move on, dude. He's just looking for something. At first I thought it was a hawk. So I actually got this thing. It's kind of like a kite. It's like a kite that looks like a bird, and it's on this long stake, and it has like a string, so it when it's really windy, it kind of like flies around in the air. We don't really deal with birds of prey messing with our chickens in the summer at all. I think there's just so much around us. We have like a bunch of woods this way. There's a field on this side that's about 90 acres. It was recently clear cut, and then across the street there's like 400 or 500 acres of woods. And the birds of prey, the predators, they more or less leave our farm completely alone during the summer because they have plenty of food. But when winter comes, that's the only time we've dealt with any sort of like predators messing with our chickens and stuff like that. For the most part, we keep them in those electric fences and they leave them alone. But I got that little kite thing that I'm gonna set up before the weather gets too cool, and hopefully it'll be a deterrent. Hey, don't go scare him. A delivery driver is pulling in. Bear just scares the life out of people. He's such a big dog, and I forget that he is a big dog. And he's very friendly, but of course if anybody pulls up on our property, he like goes to check it out, assess the situation. Come on, go inside. Katie's actually the unlikely guard dog because she barks at everything that moves. If I'm out here, she won't do it as much, but like a lot of times when delivery drivers come in, she thinks she's big. Look at Bear. I came over here to show you all the butterfly, and then I realized he's standing there watching. Keeping an eye out as always. So there's one of the yellow swallowtails. There goes the delivery driver. So we have this butterfly bush, which I should have pruned it more aggressively last year. It got really too big this year. I pruned it really heavily the year before, and so this winter I was like, maybe I don't have to cut it back as much. I do. I'll have to cut it back because it's laying over. My friend Matthew gave me this plant whenever I went up and visited him in Ohio. I think it was right after I moved here, that trip was. And he dug this up out of his yard because it was getting too big for the space he had it in. And at the time, the only garden bed or prepared garden space I had on this farm was this front garden bed. So I just stuck it here in the end. And I actually love it being here. It does get huge. I mean, it's over a dad tall, but it's right here at the end where our dining room table is. And there are constantly butterflies and bees and hummingbirds all over this thing, and I love it. You know, I feel like a kid on Christmas. This is a new camera. I'm so excited. So I haven't talked about it here. I talked about it on our Patreon live, but I am actually going on the trip of a lifetime. I'm leaving next week. I do plan on taking a little camera with me to film some of it and share with you, and I have some other things I'm working on that I'm going to be able to share my experience. But I'm turning 40 at the end of this year, and my precious husband, my sweet Maya, is actually sending me on a trip with a group of ladies that I know to Scotland. And a friend of mine was like taking this group, and I had mentioned how much I really would have loved to go on it, but I was kind of coming from a place of like, obviously I can't go out of the country. I've not done a lot of traveling. I've been a mom since I was a child pretty much. You know, Jackson was 19, and I've just never really done a lot of traveling because of that. And Scotland has been kind of my bucket list thing forever, and that is where my ancestors are from. Like 7 generations ago, like multiple legs of my family tree were in Scotland, and I am beyond thrilled. So I'm excited to like document it I mean, I'm gonna document it for myself, but I'm excited to share that with you all. It's all I can think about. I'm literally just thinking about it constantly. I'm gonna go put this inside and wait to open it, because that's what I do when I get an exciting package. Sometimes I wait until the end of the day so I can think about it all day. Listen, life is full of joy, but we have to take what we can get. Thank you guys for hanging out with me today. God bless you. Until next time.